Hello, my name is Nevaeh Allen. I'm a student at the University of Connecticut in the Hartford campus. I'm here to discuss the issue of cultural diversity or lack thereof in the field of engineering as far as academic wise and in the workplace. And I want to talk about these issues just so that myself and a collective like-minded individuals can identify these problems and if not fix it, at least improve upon it. But before we can talk about improvement, I would at least discuss at least why there's a lack of diversity in this field and what it could possibly affect. Because the idea of diversity, at least in my generation, is regarded as a necessity, but not just in engineering specifically, just in general. So, but as far as in engineering wise, in my research, I found that as far as like in the School of Engineering, I found that in 2019 and 2020 academic year, UConn has awarded 759 bachelor degrees in the field of engineering. While that number is good, it's great considering last year and of course external factors affecting the world. Like 70 in those 759 students, 73.4% were male. Of course, with 26.6 were women. And while that gap is rather huge, it's almost nothing compared to the gap in race, with 64% of those students being of white descent, meaning that less than half, 35.7% were minorities, with 14% Asian, 5% of African American or Black descent, 2% of Hispanics. The number keeps going down as you go each race. And what I found, at least the cause of this, is just the lack of exposure for these minority students. We don't see too many women engineers. We don't see those of Black and African American descent engineers. We don't see these students taking these classes. Many of us were encouraged to actually drop these drop this field in favor of another one over the justification it may be too difficult for you. And for those who seek help, we of course don't seek that encouragement. We're instructed to do the opposite. And what I found in what's the negative aspects of certain schools certain schools doing this is of course a hostile environment. We have students who often don't feel safe, or at least not safe, but comfortable taking these classes. They feel that they don't stand out. Their ideas are often overlooked by the majority. We don't see you know like a diverse like a diverse quality of just academic papers. We see because of the majority, we all see the same ideas, same point of view. Many problems in academic wise are often overlooked, and it will also lead to just a lot of setbacks. Of course, just a cycle. Just we have students who don't get encouraged. They often like fail the class and would probably drop it in favor of another field. And because of this, we actually see just a very small number of engineering students, where back in where it could be likely in the thousands, much like other fields, we are still in the hundreds. But and even could lead. Many sources have said that it could lead to a possible future where we see such a small percentage of engineers in the next century. We, that percentage all won't see these many problems that still persist today. We won't see quality a good amount of quality in these main in production wise from the graduating class would lead to, of course, millions of dollars worth of damage, products that, of course, aren't as effective as many would think to be. Problem products that really don't address every single issue, just a collective few, because you know, because people who make it, of course, of white male would only work for them. And, but however, it's like some solutions I found that even universities today are taking a stand for is, of course, requiring students to take cultural classes. And many, of course, and of course, at least pass these classes in order to continue with, with their academic path. And the reason for this is like they encourage students to at least take on, not just take on firsthand knowledge, but at least attract other students into the school, of course, because they see how cultural wise the benefits of just being in the being in this field and what it could possibly lead up to. We have schools often actually push international students and domestic students into housing in order to like have a mutual understanding and of course different have gain exposure to different issues, different solutions. It's we see eventually should these students graduate, we would possibly see production costs issues of production costs being fixed, overall quality of production, as far as like not just even manufactured goods, but bridges, buildings, its overall safety is it would be likely improved. That would be the benefits of just a diverse range of students, and which would later join the workplace. But even then, in the workplace, we still see an issue, of course, the issue of cultural uniformity. And as far as like in the workplace, it's a little bit harder to the point where it's almost impossible to at least fix this issue. It's like, and the cause of that is, of course, exclusive recruiting targets. Many workplaces would, because of universities who don't encourage minority students, workplaces, of course, hire white, exclusively, almost white males, which would lead to an intentional bias that, of course, minority students aren't unintentional biases. Of course, my minority students really don't try hard enough. If they do, if they do, we many workplaces burn them out until there's nothing left. And of course, the effects of just, of course, we have hostile environments, unsettled issues in production that would have been solved should we have a different perspective brought in. And worse, worse we because we don't have that many because we have don't have that many engineering for because of just we don't hire as many compared to the majority of white men, we will probably see an economic takeover due to these lack of jobs, unemployment. Many people aren't going to get the jobs that they want. But as once again, according to W.A. Wolf, many solutions that could solve these issues in the workplace wise is of course open communication. From the moment an employee steps into the job, we welcome them with open communication in order to like give them opportunities to either give credit to or criticize certain aspect in the workplace that could either be encouraged or fixed upon. It like team building in order to like allow other employ, employees of not only just different gender and race, but of perhaps age sometimes, nationality, sexual orientation, gain different perspective on certain products that consistently have these issues because of just a lack of different points of view. But these are just a small number of solutions I found, and they mostly consist of just open communication that will allow both a majority, minority students and majority students or employees to gain mutual respect for one another, like destroy unintentional biases that the other has about one another, and it's just we will see different points of views that will possibly bring about just not quality, just product, just production costs, safety. So, but that's just my perspective on just culture diversity in the workplace, and hopefully these solutions could realistically be implemented in the workplace as I would in the near future.